might not be able to talk about this too much, but they always talk about the Mafia connection to wrestling in Japan.
Yeah, I can talk about it. They were definitely there, and I don't think they owned the wrestling companies. The wrestling companies were owned by wrestling people. Maybe they had some people on the board, but more so I think they owned the television company, but the television company had figureheads. You know, was this so-and-so was the president of, you know, and so-and-so was the vice president, and so-and-so was the marketing director, and you know, because when they walked in, these guys snapped too. And that was the real power of the television, and that was the real power of Japanese wrestling, was the TV. Because without that, you know, you were them dry.
Is it true that those guys would take the top wrestlers out for dinner and stuff
Yeah.
from time to time?
Yeah, those are good stories, you know. Wine and dine and food, and then, you know, it was like you'd be out with a group of these guys, and, you know, they're all sitting around. They're used to being catered to, and they would have waiters, and, you know, waiting on them and waiting on us, and suddenly one of them would say, "Come here," you know, and he would, you know, whisper something in my ear, and one of them had said, "Well, we want you to serve all these guys drinks," you know, and I was supposed to be the world champion, and, you know, big deal, but it wasn't beneath me to do it. I said, "Yes, sir." I mean, I knew where I was and what was going on, and that was his way of saying, "Hey, you know, you guys are great, and we want you here, but, you know, don't make a mistake."
There's a story that you apparently roughed up and know a young boy that was the son of one of the Mafia guys, and they had a little confrontation with you in an elevator. Is there any truth to that?
No.
No.
If you're saying I actually physically grabbed a...
No. The story is there was a young boy in Noah that I guess you had one of your regular Vader style matches with, nothing totally out of the ordinary, but because he was connected.
You have to understand my position at this point. I mean, from Inoki, New Japan, to All Japan, to, I mean, you know, it's like Bruiser Brody fighting Young Boy. No, do what you want, beat him up. I mean, unless you really hurt him, which I never did.
Right.
I mean, if you try to break his wrist or his neck or something, maybe they would.
Yeah.
But no, it's good for him. I mean, that was their style.